A very good morning, students. In our previous video, we have discussed the concept of abstract data types. So we started the concept of data structures with that entities in our second unit, basically. So first we have defined what is entity and why we are calling this as abstract data type and how it is different from primitive data types or whatever we said the user defined data types. The term abstract, it is very simple to understand, will not give the full information in detail. Instead, we will give only what is required. We give only what is required and we hide the unnecessary stuff from the end user or from the programmers or from the developers, we can say. So, whenever we are hiding something, whenever we are not revealing the complete stuff, we call it as abstraction. Okay, we are giving only the partial details or we are not giving how we are doing the implementation, rather we are giving only the information about the functioning. Okay, what the purpose of doing a particular thing, will give only that one, but how we are doing that thing we will not give in detail. So with examples, with real time examples, I have explained this thing in my previous video. And then we also discussed the examples for lists, sorry, abstract data types. In that, the first one is list, and then we have stack, and then we have queue. So these three entities we discussed in our previous video. As far as the other entities are concerned, whenever they come across in our syllabus, whenever we encounter them in our syllabus, we immediately discuss the entities as well as we'll see the implementations also for those entities. So in today's class, we'll be dealing with stacks. Okay, I have already defined what is a stack, what is the purpose of using that stack in our programming, and how that stack is helpful in our programming. I mean, in terms of examples and in terms of description, I have explained in my previous video. So if you have not watched my previous video, I suggest you to go to that video and complete it first. Then only you see the implementation in this particular video. Because in today's video, we'll be doing only the implementation of that stack entity. So as you may be aware of this thing, we discussed this stack entity in our previous video. So a stack contains elements of same type. So basically what a stack will have means it is used to store. It is a container basically. Whatever data structure we implement in our data structures concept, all are going to be data containers. They are the storage areas like your array. Array is also a data structure. Isn't it? Array is also a data structure where we are storing the data, where we are storing the information into an array. Like your variable, we can also call this variable as a data structure, but as it is having only one memory location, we can't call it as a data structure, rather we can call it as only data, because whenever we are using this structuring concept, we need to have more than one entity, isn't it? If we have more than one entity, then only we do the structuring. If you have only one, we don't do structuring generally, we call it as only the simple entity. So that is the reason why our normal variables, they are just the variables, they are just the data elements. We should not use the term data structures for your normal variables. But when we are saying an array, as it is having more than one element, so there comes the concept of structuring. It is a pre-structured data structure. Your array is nothing but it is a pre-structured data structure. We don't do any structuring. It is already structured. The complete implementation for that array data structure, it was given by the developers itself. Simply what we do means we declare arrays in our programming and we use arrays in our programming. Hopefully you understood. So whatever data structures we discuss from now on, we have to do the implementation. It doesn't mean that they don't have the implementation. They do have the implementation in libraries, but it is better for our understanding if we do the implementation from our side. because it is a possible way, it is a probable way of learning new things. Okay, it is a probable way that we are going to learn memory management, how we are going to manage the memory with the help of these data structures that we study over here as part of this DSA subject. Okay, so quickly, this is your stack entity. A stack contains elements of same type. So if you want a particular stack to hold integers, you can store only integers. From the beginning to end, you can store only integers. If you want a particular stack to be of type character, it will store only characters. Boolean means it will store only boolean. Okay, double means it will store only double. Likewise, string means it will store only strings. So like your array, this stack is also uh, a data structure which stores elements of same type arranged in a sequential order. How we are arranging the elements in your data structure in the sense, in this stack, in the sense, in a sequential order. Okay, all operations, whatever operations we are going to perform on a stack, all those operations we are going to perform at the top of the stack only. Your stack, it is going to have two ends, one is top of the stack and the other one is bottom of the stack, but we utilize only the top of the stack and we perform all the operations, whatever operations are defined on this stack, whatever operations we are expecting on this stack, all those operations we perform only at the top of the stack. So bottom of the stack, it remains untouched, it remains untouched. So what operations basically we perform on a stack, in the sense these following operations, whatever we have over here, like pushing the elements into the stack, that we do with the help of push function, push operation. Generally what it will do means it will insert an element at the top of the stack. As I said, all operations we perform only at the top of the stack. So pushing of elements also we perform at the top of the stack only. Then popping the elements. Popping is nothing but removing the elements from the stack. That also we do at the top only. So pop operation will remove one element at a time. So as many times you perform pop or you call pop on that particular stack, every time this pop operation will remove one element from the stack and it will print the same element on the output screen. Or we can say it will return this function. What it has to do, it has to return that element. After popping, it has to return that element. So push, whatever element we are going to pass as an argument to this push function, it will be inserted into the stack at top location. And pop operation, whenever you perform this pop operation on a particular stack, this pop operation will remove one element from top of the stack. Peek, it neither removes nor inserts. Simply what it will do means it will check, it will see the top of the stack. What element we have at the top of the stack, it will see that one and it will print that one. It will check that one and it will print that one. Peek, it simply it will not, we should not say retrieve, or we should not say pop, we should not say push. What it will do, it will simply checks and takes. It will neither removes nor inserts. It will simply checks and prints the top of the stack, top element from the stack. So return the top element of the stack without removing it. If the stack is not empty, this is very important. When we can perform the pop operation and when we can perform the peek operation, in the sense, only in case if your stack is not empty. Performing the peek operation when your stack is empty, what element you are seeing into the stack? There is nothing, isn't it? If there is nothing, how can we see the element from the stack? So there is no possibility of performing the peek operation on an empty stack. Similar to that, pop operation. If your stack is already empty, how we can perform the pop operation on an empty stack? It is also not possible. So then the size, what it will do means it will checks how many elements you have into the stack. That count it will return. Then is empty, it will check for the emptiness of the stack. If the stack is empty, this is empty function will return true. If the stack is not empty, this is empty function will return false. Is full, again checking the fullness of your stack. If the stack is full, this is full function will return true. If the stack is empty, that is if your stack is not full, we have to say in this way. We should not say empty. When we are checking is full, this is full function returns true only in case if the stack is full. Only in case if the stack is full. and it will return false only in case if the stack is not full. We should not say if the stack is empty. Emptiness is a different state. Emptiness is the different condition. Whenever we are saying empty, the complete stack must be empty, isn't it? The complete stack must be empty. So is full, what it will do, it will check whether the stack is full or not. That means whatever size, whatever capacity you have taken for the stack, that complete capacity is full or not. If even only one particular element is empty in your stack, that means the stack is not full. There is no need of being a stack completely empty. If even one element is not there in your stack, means your stack is not full. Your stack is not full. So all these operations, okay, we try to implement with the help of C++ programming. So quickly to understand this one, I will take an example of stack and I will explain all these operations how we generally perform. Push operation, pop operation, peek operation, size, is empty, is full. So all these operations we have to understand. So for that sake, I am taking this whiteboard, and over here what I will do, I will draw a particular stack. So let us say, first of all, we have to decide, before taking the stack, we have to decide the capacity, a term called as capacity. What this capacity will do means, it will give the size of your complete size, how many elements you want into that stack. That capacity will define. So we will take an element capacity, sorry, capacity, and this capacity, initially I am assuming I am taking 5 elements into my stack. How many? 5 elements. So how many memory blocks I am going to have into my stack means, so 5 memory blocks. So the stack, because we have to draw like this, okay, so this is my stack. First element, second element, third element, fourth and fifth element. So if you implement this stack using an array, if you implement this stack using an array, so something like this, so this will become your 0th index, this is first index, second index, third index, this is fourth index. So we are maintaining a variable to move forward and downward into this stack, and we call that variable as top, because all operations we said we are performing only at the top of the stack, right? So we use a variable top. So initially this top is going to be -1. This top is going to be -1. So now how can we check the emptiness of this stack? Because we start from this only. How can we check the emptiness of the stack? So that thing, when we say our stack is empty, so how we can say that one? If your top is pointing to the -1, because whenever your top is -1, we say our stack is empty. We say our stack is empty. So this operation, what we have to do in order to check whether the stack is empty or not, that is our isEmpty function. What we have to write inside our isEmpty function means, we simply have to check whether this top is equals to, this top is equals to -1 or not, equals to comparison, isn't it? Equals to -1 or not. If this is equals to -1, we say our stack is empty. So in this case, what we have to return? We have to return true. If this condition is false, we have to return false. So isEmpty function, basically what it will do, it will check the emptiness. And when we say our stack is empty, when top is equals to -1, when top value is -1, we say our stack is empty. So generally, how we do the insertion? Insert operation, that is nothing but push operation. How we perform the push operation? Whatever element we are going to pass to this push function, that element, what we do means, will push into this stack. So what we have to do generally? Yes, we have to increment the top position. Okay, we have to increment the top position, and at that position we have to insert the element. So how can we achieve that one? Means simply inside push we have to perform these operations. Inside push, what I have to do, I have to increment the top. So plus plus top, or top equals to top plus 1, like this also you can do. So we will go like this: top equals to top plus 1. We have to increment the top value. So instead of writing two different statements, what I will do means I will write only one statement, that plus top, because prior to the execution of the statement we have to increment the top value. First we have to increment the top value, then only we have to do the insertion. So prior to the execution, or prior to perform the insertion operation, we are incrementing the top value. So that top value, instead of writing top equals to top plus 1, I can write plus top, isn't it? I can write plus top. Doing like this also exactly similar to top equals to top plus 1. So right now what we are doing means we are performing the push operation. So next thing what we do, yes, yeah, stack of plus top, and whatever element we are going to receive over here. Let us say I am receiving int x over here. If I am receiving x, that x you have to initialize over here. So in the first attempt, if you are pushing, if you are writing push 10, if you are writing push 10, you are calling the push function something like this, push of 10, then what will happen? This 10 will be stored inside this x, and that 10 will come over here. So first what we are doing, we are incrementing the top value. So initially top value was -1. So now after this increment, top value will become 0, isn't it? After this increment, top value will become 0. Then stack of 0, I am initializing that s. What is stack of 0? This location, this particular location, we call it as stack of 0. And at that particular location, what value I am initializing? I am initializing 10. So that 10 will come over here. After this insertion, after this 10 insertion, our top will become 0. Our top will become 0. Let us say I am pushing one more element. Push some 20 into the stack. Push 20 into the stack. Again 20 will come over here, and we are saying stack of plus top. Stack of plus top. So incrementing the top value. So my top value will become 1 now. So 0 was here. So let me just rub this one, because this one also, to avoid the confusion. So initially we set top value as -1, so that will be below this, isn't it? Over here this is your 0, so -1 in the sense somewhere here. So initially top was -1, then we have incremented top to 0 and inserted 10. Then again we have incremented top to 1 and inserted 20. Let us say one more element, push of 30. We are inserting 30. So again top will get incremented, top will become 2, and that 30 will come over here. So one more element, push of 40, then that 40 will come over here. Okay, and this is top will get incremented, top will become 3. So till what extent I can perform the push operation means until and unless my stack will become full. What is the condition to check whether my stack is full or not? So to check that one, we use the is full. Over here only I have mentioned that one. Yes, is full function, as you can see over here. Yeah, is empty will check the emptiness. Already we know. Simply what we have to do to check the emptiness, of the stack, what we have to check? We have to check whether top value is equals to -1 or not. Simply you have to check this one. And how we are performing the insertion? Into the stack means stack of, what we are doing? Stack of plus top. The important statements I'm writing over here. Stack of plus top. So every time whenever you are performing the insertion, that is nothing but push operation, you have to increment the top value and you have to push that element at that top location. Then the next is empty. Is full. How we check this is full means simply what we have to do? our our top must go to 4. Here top should become 4. So that 4 is nothing but capacity minus 1, isn't it? That 4 is nothing but, because we have to write the generalized statement. If you write 5 minus 1, that is nothing but 4, then what will happen? You can say every time you can select only the size 5 stack only. You cannot go down or you cannot go up. So that is the reason why, in order to write the generalized statement, what we do means we use this capacity variable. So is full, what we have to check? We have to check simply top equals to capacity minus 1 or not. Top equals to capacity minus 1 or not. If this condition is true, we say stack is full. If this condition is false, when this condition will become false? If your top is other than capacity minus 1. If your stack is other than capacity minus 1, then what will happen? This condition will become false, and that will be treated as stack is not full case. Stack is not full case. So in this way, we check the stack whether it is full or not. Simply what we do in case to check, here what we are doing, I think this particular statement is not visible to you, so I will write over here. So in order to check the emptiness of my stack, what I have to do? Top equals to minus 1 or not. I have to check this one. And then in order to check the full state, whether my stack is full or not, how we have to do? Top equals to overall capacity of the stack minus 1. Like this we have to check. Next is these two operations I have to explain. Pop and peak operation. How we perform the pop operation? Simply what element we are popping, that we don't want. Every time whenever we are performing the pop operation, we simply remove the element from the top of the stack. So here I am considering push of 50 as my last statement over here. Then what will happen? Top value gets incremented and that 50 will come over here. Next, if I perform another push of 60, is that possible? Push of 60. Can I push more elements into this stack? My overall capacity of the stack is only 5. And I am trying to push this sixth element, that is 60. Is it possible? It is not possible. Simply we can't push this last element into the stack, because we will safeguard this push operation with isFull function. You will understand when we do the implementation, you will understand. So we safeguard this push function with isFull, so that will not perform this push operation when the stack is full. So now the pop operation, what we have to do? What we have to do? How we perform the pop operation? Simply you have to decrement the top value and return that particular element. So that is nothing but like this: stack of minus pop operation, stack of minus top. That's it. Stack of top minus, because first we have to retrieve, then we have to decrement the stack. So top minus. So what this will do when you perform like this? Top value is 4, isn't it? So stack of 4 will be retrieved. Stack of 4 is nothing but 50 will be retrieved. And then what we are doing? We are decrementing the top minus in the sense, top value is 4. So top 4 minus 1, that is 3. So top will become 3. So if top will become 3, ultimately this element gets removed from the stack. Because we cannot access, now the top value is 3 and we cannot access this element from the stack. So this element gets removed. Okay. Likewise, you can remove all the elements simply by calling the pop operation. And when you are performing the pop operation, no need to pass the element of what element you are trying to pop, because every time whenever you are performing the pop, always it will pop the element. So always it will pop the element only from the top of the stack. We should not bother what element you are popping. We have to bother that we are going to pop the element from the top of the stack only. Hope you understood. Okay. So at the time of popping the element, what we are doing? At the time of popping the element here, pop operation, simply we are taking the consideration like this: stack of top minus. Every time we have to decrement the top and we have to return the element from the top of the stack. So like this. Next is peaking the element. So peak, what we do generally? simply we have to print the top of the stack. No increment, no decrement, because neither we are inserting nor we are removing. Simply we are accessing that element. So stack of top, that's it. Stack of top will perform the peek operation. Simply remember these things. So whenever we are pushing the element, we are incrementing the top and pushing. And whenever we are popping, we are returning the element and decrementing the top. And whenever we are peeking the element, simply we are printing the top, stack of top, and checking the uh, emptiness. uh, Compare the top value with -1. If top is -1, stack is empty. And checking the fullness, comparing the top value with capacity -1. If top equals to capacity -1, then the stack is full. And checking the size, what we do? Simply put the what we call top +1, because every time, see over here, we have inserted one element and top value is 0. We have inserted one element and top value is 0, and we have inserted second element, two elements, and top value is 1. So always the top value is less than one element. How many, the number of elements, how many elements you have into the stack, and your top value, if you compare, it will always be less than 1 to the number of elements into the stack. Your top value is always less than 1 to the number of elements present in the stack. So in order to make the balance, what we have to do? Checking the size function. Inside the size function, what we have to do means simply add 1 to the top. That will become the overall count of the element. Suppose if you have top value as 0, that means you have one element. So 0 plus 1, 1. That will return 1. So likewise, if you have top value as 1, that means two elements you have into the stack. So 1 plus 1, 2 will, like that it will balance the count of number of elements into the stack. So all these operations you have to understand thoroughly, and yes, very soon I will write the complete code and I will explain how that thing can be implemented with the help of templates as well. So quickly we check one by one. So first we see isEmpty function. We see isEmpty function. So the return value of isEmpty, what value we are expecting from the isEmpty function means, as it is going to tell whether the stack is empty or not. So that will be either true or false, isn't it? So I am expecting Boolean value. So BOOL is the type. Okay, this is, it can be either true or false. So isEmpty is my function, isEmpty, and this thing how I am checking, you see this one, this thing how I am checking means return top equals to -1. Okay, return top equals to -1. This is a expression. So when this expression becomes true, when top value is equals to -1, if top value is equals to -1, that means my stack is empty. Then this return statement, what it will do? It will return the resultant of this expression. So if top equals to -1, this entire expression will become true, and that true will be returned by this isEmpty function as a return value. If top is not equals to -1, then this expression, what it will become? It will become false. If top is not equals to -1, if top is not -1, that means you have elements into the stack. When the top will become -1? When there are no elements in the stack. If the stack is empty, when there are no elements in the stack, then only the top will reach down to the bottom, that is -1. So if your top is not -1, that means either your top can be 0, 1, 2, it can be anything up to the capacity of the stack, up to the capacity -1 to the stack. Okay, up to the capacity -1. It can be anything up to the capacity -1. So if that is the case, then we have to return false. And ultimately, this entire expression will become false. If top is not -1, then this entire expression will become false, and this isEmpty function will return false only. Based on that, we are going to frame the code. So next is checking the fullness. Checking the fullness, that function will also return Boolean value. So Boolean, okay, is full is my function, and this function, what it will do? It will return top equals to capacity, overall capacity -1. So like this, close this one. So what we are doing, again we are framing an expression over here. Top equals to capacity minus 1. So when this top value goes to capacity minus 1, that will be the maximum size of your stack. So in that case, this expression will return true. In that case, this expression will return true. Okay, so the same thing will be returned by this function, and we are framing the code accordingly. And if this is not true, if top, that means if your stack is not full. If your stack is not full, if the stack is not full, it can be anything. Like it can't be capacity minus 1. So over here capacity is 5. So whenever my top value is going to 4, that is capacity minus 1, then I'm considering that state as stack full state. If my stack is anything other than this, if it is 3, 2, 1, 0, even minus 1, if it is anything other than this capacity minus 1, then I'm considering that state as stack not full state. Stack is not full. So in that case, what this function has to return? This function has to return false. Ultimately, it will do the same, because we are doing the comparison between top and capacity minus 1. If my top is not equals to capacity minus 1, then this is full function will return false. If my top is equals to capacity minus 1, then it will be considered as stack full state, and this function, this is full function, will return true. Okay, then the next thing, how we perform the push operation. Yes, before performing the push operation, we have to check the emptiness of the stack, isn't it? Already I told you we have to check the yes, push operation, fullness of the stack. In order to do the push operation, we have to check the fullness of the stack. So as it is not going to return anything, our push function, it will simply push whatever element we are going to pass. So that element I'm considering it as int x. Okay, int x. Next thing what we have to do, check the fullness. If is full, if is full of, like this we have to, because it is a function call, is full function call. When this is full function will return true. Okay, when this is full function will return true if this entire thing, yani if your stack is full, then only this is full function will return true. If it is returning true, that means if your stack is full, then what we have to write? We have to write an according statement. Okay, overflow, isn't it? If your stack is full, if your stack is full, an overflow condition will occur, isn't it? And then the program should be terminate. Then the program should be terminate, and then in order to terminate the program, we call the exit function. We call the exit function like this. Okay, so after, if this is not true, if this is not true, then what we do? We perform the insert. Okay, we perform the insert into the stack, that is cout of inserting. We print this statement like inserting, because we are, if this is not true, we are inserting the element into the stack. Then yeah, whatever stack we have taken, the stack of, okay, plus plus top, isn't it? Stack of plus plus top, and we insert that element at this location, like x, whatever x we have received, that x we will put over here. So this coding is to perform the push operation. Then pop operation, simply we have to perform the reverse. We have to check whether the stack is empty or not. Is empty. If it is empty, we cannot perform the pop operation. So if it is empty, print a statement cout. If it is overflow, then in case of pop operation, pop generally it will return an element. Okay, int pop if you are doing with integers. So basically we do with templates, so very soon you will understand. So cout of that thing, then yeah, here underflow, print underflow, and next thing what we have to do, yeah, immediately exit. If your stack is not if your stack is not having any elements, that is if your stack is empty, we can't perform the pop operation. So simply print underflow and exit. So then close. And if your stack is not empty, if this condition is not true, if isEmpty function is returning false, then the control will come to this area. Then control will come to this area. So over here we have to perform the pop operation, and that pop operation, how we can perform? Simply stack of, we have to return this element. because integer value we have to return stack of plus, sorry, top minus minus, top minus minus. So like this. Yeah. So I will take the editor, and over there we will implement all these operations. You try to follow the coding because it is very important. You try to follow the coding. Okay, wherever you have the doubt, if you're not understanding something, immediately you can ask. First, we'll go in this way. Okay, first we'll take uh, a stack of integer type. I will write the complete stack with integers. Then we'll convert that stack to template, because if I write the template directly, you will not understand. So that is the reason why what I'm doing, I'm using simple procedure, I'm using simple coding in order to, with integers, in order to make you people understand. So once you got that idea, then we will transform this into templates. Our intention is with the help of templates only, because in your exams mostly they will ask you to write the code independent to the data type. They will ask you to write the template code. They will not ask you to write integer stack or character stack or string stack or double stack. They will directly ask you to implement the stack using templates. Implement the stack using templates. Templates means what? Independent to any data type. We should not make our code specific to the data type. We have to make our code independent to the data type. That is nothing but your generic programming. And we discussed generic advantage of having generic programming in our day-to-day life, programming life, isn't it? So quickly we go and we try to implement one integer stack, and we try to convert that stack into templates. So I will take the empty program, that is, go to file and select source file. So over here what we have to do is take a class and name it as stack. It is a user defined name. So before that what we have to do, sorry, we have to include our IO stream, hash include IO stream. Okay, then into this stack, yes, using namespace std, I forgot. Okay, using namespace std. So over here int, yeah, I'm declaring an array, an integer pointer to locate, to take the array memory from the heap. So here I'm taking the memory from the heap. I'm declaring the array, but I'm not implementing it. So int star arr, then I'm taking integer top. It is always going to be integer only, because index top is nothing but your array index. Array index always it is going to be integer. It is irrespective to the data type only, isn't it? Whatever elements we are going to store, whether they are integer elements, character elements, double elements, always your index, array index, it is going to be integer only. So that is the reason why we have taken top as integer, and capacity also, it is a positive value, isn't it? It is a positive numeric value. We can't take the capacity into negative value, isn't it? Isn't it? You think of it simply, always the capacity is going to be positive, and that is the reason why we have taken the positive integer. Positive integer, and it is a numerical value, capacity. Moreover, we cannot take the character value as capacity, isn't it? So that is the reason why. And this int, it indicates that we are going to store only integers into my stack. This int star will indicate that I am going to store only integers into my stack. Okay, so like this I have declared my stack. So the next thing, yes, I have to declare the operations. Okay, public, then first I will initialize the stack. Okay, initialize the stack with size, whatever capacity I am taking. Then push operation, it will not return anything. Okay, and it is going to take one int, because I'm developing an integer stack. Next, pop operation, it is going to return an integer value, and it will not take any parameters, hopefully. So yeah, representing void over there, and don't represent, it doesn't change the meaning, but we will take like that. So next is peak operation. Always peak operation, it will also return the peak value. So as we are developing an integer stack, so it will return an integer value. Okay, then checking the size always it is going to be an integer value only. Then checking whether my function is, whether my stack is empty or not, that is empty, is empty function. So like this. Then checking whether my stack is full or not, is full. And as I told you, okay, checking fullness or emptiness, either it can be true or false, either it can be full or empty. Either if you are checking emptiness, either it can be empty or it can be empty not. If you are checking the full condition, either it can be full or it can be full not, isn't it? Or it can be full not. If you are checking the fullness and if the stack is not full, it doesn't mean that it is empty. It doesn't mean that it is empty. If you are checking the fullness of the stack and if your stack is not full, it doesn't mean that your stack is completely empty. It can have one or two elements. It can have one or two or anything other than capacity minus 1. It can have any number of elements other than capacity minus 1, isn't it? So if that is the case, we consider that stack as not full stack. But if your stack is completely full, that is top equals to capacity minus 1, then we consider that state as full, stack is full. Okay, so quickly, yeah, this is after this, once you have done with the implementation, okay, once you have done with the implementation, at some point what you have to do, you have to call the destructor in order to release the memory. In order to release the memory, that implementation I will write here itself. Okay, as we are deleting an array, delete off, okay, delete off ARR. Instead of taking this ARR, it's better to take, okay, the class name as stack demo. I'm taking my class name as stack demonstration. Basically we are doing stack demonstration, so stack demo. Then here I want to take my array name as stack to avoid the confusion. Okay, so you can do like this in your notes as well, because in your notes I kept ARR only over there, and ARR you can remember in this way. We are doing the array implementation of the stack. So here also you have to modify it like stack. So this is the destruction of my objects. Okay, this is my destruction of the object. So immediately I have to implement all these functions. From this constructor to all these functions, I have to write the implementation. How we are performing the push, pop, peek, size, is empty and is full. And how we are allocating the memory using this constructor. Constructor will allocate the memory and destructor will deallocate the memory to my stack. Okay, to my stack. So first I will write that constructor implementation only. So in order to make that constructor defined outside the class, what I have to do, I have to perform the resolution, isn't it? So constructor, it will not have any return type. So directly the class name is stack demo or scope resolution, and my function name is I'm doing over here the constructor itself. So if my class name is stack demo, my constructor name must be stack demo, and my destructor name must also be stack demo, and my constructor, it is going to be stack demo only. Okay, so whatever capacity we are going to pass, and that capacity will come over here, and we need that much size of memory into my stack. So how we can do? Stack equals to, I'm allocating the memory, new integer of whatever size we are passing. Integer of, suppose if I want 5 elements into my stack, I call this stack demo constructor and I pass 5 as an argument. So that 5 will come into this size and I will get 5 elements into my stack, because new will allocate the memory dynamically, that you already know. New will allocate the memory dynamically, and int of 5, here size, if you want 5 elements, this size will become 5. So int of 5 means how many elements you will get into this stack? 5 elements. As this stack, it is an integer pointer, it is going to point these locations, these 5 locations. This stack is going to point these 5 locations. Hopefully you understood. So the next thing what I have to do, stack equals to according to this size, I have to initialize my top as well as my capacity as well. So capacity, what that capacity is going to be. Yeah, whatever size we want, exactly to that size I need my capacity, and my top should always be -1, isn't it? At the time of creation of the stack, as I don't have any elements into the stack, and my stack will remain, my top will remain -1. So now, in order to do the push, in order to do the push, it is not going to return anything, and my class name is stack demo. Okay, perform the scope resolution on push function, and this push function, it is going to push uh, integer type of element, integer type of element. Basically this coding, I'm telling you, like hundreds of lines of code we will get from now on. So every single instruction you have to follow. Okay, so next thing is we are pushing the element into the stack. So generally what I said, whenever we are pushing the element into the stack, we have to increment the top value, isn't it? So simply increment the top value and push that element. But before pushing that element into the stack, what we have to do, we have to perform the uh, we have to check whether the stack is full or not. Okay, because if your stack is completely full and we are pushing the element, that is nothing but overflow condition, isn't it? So to check that one, yeah, to check that push and pop, to check that fullness, what we need an full is full function. Okay, is full function I'm writing, and this is full, it will not take anything. So inside this, what we are doing, simply we are checking whether top value is equals to capacity -1 or not, capacity -1 or not. This particular thing we have to return, because it is an expression. This entire thing is an expression. If top is equals to capacity -1, then it will become true, and that same statement will be returned. If capacity is not if top is not equals to capacity -1, then that thing will become false, and that same thing will be returned. So in my case, I have written my is full function. I have returned my is full function, and immediately what I have to do, yes, go here and call that function. If at all is full, if at all is full, that is function is full, then what we have to do, see out of overflow, isn't it? That state is nothing but overflow state, and what this will do, it will terminate the program uh, terminated, program terminated. So like this you will get. And how we are going to terminate our program manually, in the sense by calling this exit function. So this exit function, it is a part of your stdlib, I guess. Yes, no need of that, directly it is taking that exit function. So next thing, after pushing, what we have to, yeah, we have not pushed anything yet. So we simply checked whether my stack is empty or not. If it is not empty, what I have to do, I have to push that element into the stack. If it is not empty, I have to push that element into that stack. So that operation, pushing operation, or we can say push of that particular element, whatever element we are pushing, that element we have received into x, right? So that x you put over there, and how we are going to push that stack of, what we have to do, we have to increment the top value. First you increment the top value and insert that x at that location. So in this way we can perform the push operation. In this way we can perform the push operation. Next thing is pop operation. Okay, next is pop operation. Again, pop, it is going to return the integer element. Okay, we have to qualify with class name stack demo of pop, and it will not take anything. So next is, when you are performing the uh, pop operation, we have to check is empty, whether the stack is empty or not. That thing we have to check. So quickly go and write the coding for that is empty. Okay, so boolean, return type boolean, then stack demo, with class name we have to qualify. So stack demo colon is empty, we are checking is empty function. what we have to return, what we have to check whether top value is -1 or not. If top value is -1, my stack is empty. If top value is not equals to -1, my stack is not empty. My stack is not empty. Okay. So next, now write the push function, sorry, pop function. If at all it is empty, if at all it is empty, what we have to do? We have to print that statement. So as the stack is empty and you are trying to pop the element, it will perform an underflow error. It is an underflow error. So underflow, then immediately what we have to do? We have to terminate the program. Terminated. Program got terminated. So the next thing, yeah, whatever element you're, yeah, exit. That's it. Yeah, here only we have to stop the execution. We don't have to terminate, I mean, we don't have to perform any underflow operation on the stack, because performing the underflow will completely destroy your stack, as the top will go minus less than -1. Okay. So next is what? Yeah, if at all this stack is not empty, we can perform the pop operation. And that pop operation, how we can perform means by simply returning a stack of top. We have to return, first you return the top, then decrement the top. First you return the top, then decrement the top. In this way, we can perform the pop operation. So that's it. Hopefully, we have developed all my functions. So quickly we go and we see inside main. What I am doing means I am simply trying to uh, insert one element into the stack. Okay. So first, what I have to do? Yeah, create the stack. So stack of, sorry, not stack, stack demo, stack demo of st. So my stack name st, object name st I am taking, and I want like how many elements, in the sense like 5 elements. 5 is too far, right? I'm taking only 3 elements. So now what will happen? A stack with 3 elements, it will get created. A stack with 3 elements, it will get created. So that stack you assume like this. Okay. So initially, whenever you are calling this st of 3, what it will do? It will call the constructor. So immediately the control will come and stand over here. The control will come and stand over here. This is my constructor call. So it will create the stack of whatever size we passed. We passed 3. So how many elements will get? We'll get 3 elements. 1, 2, 3 elements. So next what we are doing? We are making capacity as size. So what is my size that I passed? Size I passed as 3. So I am making capacity as size. So my capacity will become 3. My capacity will become 3. Capacity will become 3. Next we are making top as -1. Top equals to -1. So generally we have to write down to it. Yeah, here top equals to -1. So like this, -1. So next is after this creation, what I want to do is I want to push an element. I want to push an element into the stack. Okay. So how I can call that push? On this st I can call st of push of, I want to push 10. I want to push 10. So 10 got pushed. So 10 got pushed. So what will happen? Top will get incremented and top will become 0, and that 10 will come over here like this. Now my state is like this. Next what I am doing, I am performing uh, another push operation. So like this we check whether any errors will get or what. So generally we will not get any output, and we should not get any errors also, because we are not printing. Or if you are pushing this 10 now, so over there it will print that element, whatever element we pushed, that element we will get on the output screen. So quickly we check stack impl, stack implementation dot cpp. Okay. So it got saved. So quickly I go and I will compile my program. Hopefully we get errors. Yes, it is showing some error. Yeah, it should be like when we are creating the object of this stack demo. Yeah, it should not, it is, as it is not an array, we have, as it is a what we call object creation, we have to take like this. It's my mistake basically. Object creation we pass in parenthesis, not in curly brackets. Okay, the size we have to pass in parenthesis because this is the constructor call, isn't it? It is not the array creation, it is this constructor call. So like this we have to put. So next, compile. Yes, it is successfully compiled. So when we are pushing this 10, we'll see whether it is pushing that 10 or not into the stack. Go and execute. Yes, as you can see, it is pushing the 10 onto the stack. So now, as I explained over here, see, my top got incremented. Now my top value is 0 and that 10, whatever we said, it is existing into the stack. That is the reason why we are getting the 10 on the output screen. So, so basically what this will do, this st.push, it will call the push function with 10 as argument. It will call the push function with 10 as argument. So that push, it will happen over here, isn't it, here. So 10 as argument we call, so this x will become 10 now. So initially we are checking whether stack is full or not. Is full function we are calling, so the control will jump from here to is full function. Where is my is full function? Here it is my is full function. So inside is full, top equals to capacity minus 1. What is my capacity? Capacity is 3, isn't it? You can check over here, capacity is 3. So 3 minus 1, that is 2. This entire thing will become 2. So top minus 1 equals to 2. So this minus 1 equals to 2 is false, isn't it? It is false. So what will happen? This is full function will return a boolean value false. Will return a boolean value false, and that same boolean value will come to this location. Will come to this location. So if is full, this is full is returning false. So if false, then what will happen? These statements will not get on the output screen and the program will not get terminated. So immediately what will happen? That push operation will happen. It will increment the top value and push that x onto the top of the stack. It will increment the top value and push that x onto the top of the stack. X is nothing but 10. So top value gets incremented. Now top value is 1 and whatever element we are pushing, okay, that element will be pushed onto the stack. So that is the reason why we got push 10. So next, can I push one more element onto my stack? Yes, of course, because still I have the memory. So that is st dot push off. I am pushing 20. So now again what will happen? Yeah, here one more time my top gets incremented. One more time my top gets incremented, and top will become 1, and that same value 20 value whatever I am pushing, that I will get onto the top of the stack. Okay, so now if you go and see the output, two elements will be pushed onto the top of the stack. Okay, so I think we have to compile first. I forgot to compile. So compile. Yes, compilation, no errors. Then execute, run. As you can see, first 10 is pushed, then 20 is pushed. To get this in a new line every time, yeah, here before this push, you put one backslash n. Before this push, put one backslash n. Now, tools, compile, successfully compiled. Okay, successfully compiled. Go and check for execution. See the output, push 10, push 20. So like this. Second time when you are pushing, how the things will be. Second time when you are pushing the, okay, sorry, I closed the IDE. Let me just open that IDE. Okay, now let me just open the program because I've saved that program. That is stack, right? Stack implementation. Stack implementation.cpp. This is my program. Okay, so now I'm pushing 20. So that is also got pushed onto the stack. So how it will be? So simply it will increment. It will increment what? It will increment the top value and it will push that element. So see here. So now my top value is 1. So push operation I am performing. So it will check is full. Ultimately is full. Over here the control will come. Is full, inside is full. This is 1 and capacity is 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1, 2. 1 is equals to 2. Condition false again. So this will return false. So that same thing will come over here. So this will not be printed. And second element will be pushed by incrementing the top value. Now my top value will become 2, and at that second location, now my top value will become 1, I guess. Yes, 1. And at that one location, that 20 will get added. 20 will get pushed. So now the stack position is something like this: 10, 20, top minus 1, 0, top value is 1 now, capacity will remain 3 only. So next time, can I push one more element? We'll see. St dot push off. I want to push 30 now. Can I push this 30? Yes, of course. You see this? Again, I am compiling. Execute, compile. Compilation successful. Then run. So push 10, push 20, push 30. 3 elements got pushed onto the stack. 3 elements got pushed onto the stack. Close this one. Okay. So after this 30 push, my top value will become 2 now. Isn't it? Pay attention to this one. Now my top value is 2. And that second location, okay, second index location, 30 will be pushed. 30 will be pushed. Yes. So I got 10, 20, 30 likewise onto the output screen. Can I push one more element? St dot push off 40. So then what will happen? If I try to push this fourth element in a 3 size stack, what will happen? It is an overflow state, isn't it? That error message we have to get onto the output screen. That error message we have to get onto the output screen. So simply compile, no errors, then run. See, we got 10 pushed, 20 pushed, 30 pushed, and after that overflow program terminated. We cannot push the fourth element onto a 3 size stack. So that is the reason why we got that error. So if you check, so this is pushing this fourth element is an error. So I am keeping into comments. Yeah, after this, if you peek, have we written that code for that function peek? No, we have not returned. So peek function, generally what it will do, it will return the top element, isn't it? Top element from the stack. So integer, next thing is stack demo colon peek of. So generally what we have to do, return top of the stack of top. No, not like this. It is an array. Stack of top, like this. That's it. No increment, no decrement, something like this you have to. So then cout, we are peeking the top element. Cout, okay, peek. What we are doing here, we are performing the peek operation, and basically we are adding that element at the end. So if you peek that element, what element you will get? So up to 10, 20, 30 we have inserted. 40 it got rejected by the program. So we kept that 40 into comment. So now my top of the stack is 30. So as you can see, like this my stack. So if you peek from here, what you will see? You will see 30 only. So that 30 I am expecting on the output screen. Compilation is successful. So I am executing the program. So as you can see here, 10, 20, 30, then peek of 30. Like that you will get. It is taking some time. Okay, execute. Yes, as you can see, 10, 20, 30 and peak of 30. So to get that peak in new line, again you put over here \n. So save it, compile. Sorry, I forgot to compile. So compile and then run. So like this you will get 10, 20, 30 we pushed. Then if you call the peak value on a tree size stack where 30 is the top of the stack, you will get peak value as 30 only. So that 30 we got as an output. Yes, see over here. Push 10, push 20, push 30 and peak 30. Likewise. So next thing, I'm performing the pop operation. So st dot pop. So what this pop will do? It will pop the top of the stack only. So it will pop the first element. So where we are performing the pop operation, here we are performing the pop operation. So no, not push, pop operation. So return stack of, so here we have to print that as an output. C out of, okay, \n. This thing you can do inside the function also, but for in order to understand all the possibilities, I did like this. So some values I'm printing out of the function and some values I'm printing from the function itself. Because whenever I'm calling the push function, the value pushed is printing from the function only. But when I'm calling the pop, the value it is printing outside the function. Okay, that is the reason why inside the main we are writing that code that we are popping this value. So go check execution, sorry, compilation successful and execution. So it is going to pop this top of the stack. When you are calling the pop on this stack, it is going to pop this first element, 30 element. Okay, so as you can see, popped 30. Call one more time. Call that pop one more time. So to pop the second element, Control C, Control V. Okay, we are popping the second element. Now compile. Compilation successful. Concept is very simple. Implementation is very tough. Simply we are incrementing the top, inserting the element, decrementing the top, popping the element. That's it. Okay, rest of the operations also very simple to understand, but implementation when it comes, it is very difficult. Okay, compilation successful and execution, if you see, insertion we have done all the elements 10, 20, 30 and peaking. When you are performing the peak operation, 30 you are getting, and pop operation, first you popped 30 and 20, then you popped pop one more value. Okay, one more time I'm calling the pop operation. Save, compile, then execute. So like this, 30, 20 and 10 also it got popped from the stack. So can I pop one more element? Can I pop one more element? We will see. Compile. This is underflow state, isn't it? After popping all the elements, I'm trying to pop more elements. It is an underflow state. So the output, if you see, because it is a lengthy program, right? So it is taking some time to execute. As you can see, 10, 20, 30 pushed. Then 30 we peaked. Then 30 we popped. 20 we popped. 10 we popped. Again, I mean, after popping 10 also, we are trying to pop. That is, when the stack is empty, at that point also we are trying to pop the element. Because of that reason, we got this error. Underflow and program gets terminated. In this way, we can implement all the functions of your stack. So whatever implementation we have done over here, this is for integers we have done, and it is integer specific. So how we can make this complete code as uh, independent to the data type. That is nothing but generic means we have to use the templates. So basically we use the class templates in order to do that one. So simply what we have to do, how to modify the code, we have to use the template keyword, then class keyword, then take T. Isn't it? When I explained the templates concept over there, I have explained you. So instead of int, now put T. Okay. So these two will become integer, and this is also integer, but over here it is T, template type. Here also popping the element, template type, peeking the element, template type, size integer, is empty boolean, is full boolean only. So all these remains as it is. But over here when you are writing the definitions of the functions, you need to qualify those functions also, something like this. Okay, template with full template definition you have to qualify. Template class T, like this, and here this size is integer only. Okay, this size is integer only. Yes. Then what it will change means here also you have to put T type. Okay, like this you have to put, and here it will remain as it is, and here also you have to make it as template. Okay, class T. Then here this is not of integer type but of T type, and here also you have to put T, and is full it will remain as it is, nothing will change in this one. Yes. Okay, so next pop operation also qualify template. Okay, then class T. Okay, and here it will return T type, and here you have to qualify with T. Okay, is empty will not change anything, and here also it will not change anything. Boolean type return value, is full function, again qualify with template declaration, template class T. Okay, another T over here. That's it. Sorry, capital T this should be. Okay, that's it, nothing will change, remains intact. And again one more thing, is empty function also we have to qualify with template definition, template class T. Okay, template class T, then here one more T. Very simple to understand. Okay, here another T. Then yes, when you are writing the main function, peek function also have written, right? Yes, peek function also you have to qualify template class T, and here one more T. That's it. Okay, so next thing, yeah, directly main function. Size function is also there. It is very simple, just you have to add +1, top +1, and return that one. Size function how we can means, as it is going to return peak value, template value it is going to peak instead of integer. So here I'm writing the size function, you can see. So template declaration, so template class or T, then size it is an integer value only, integer stack demo T. Okay, then size of, yeah, what we have to return from the size function, just top +1, top +1, that's it, very simple function, top +1. Okay, so like this, save it and go compile. Yes, here also when you are making template specific to integer, you have to pass like this, integer. Okay, that's it, because this stack demo now it is no more a regular class but it is a template class, so you have to qualify, or you have to pass the type also. If you want characters to be inserted, you can put character over here, that also we will see now. Okay, so compile, successfully compiled, and execute, run. Yeah, you will get the same output. After template also you will get the same output, because we made first we made the template, again we make it as integer only. Suppose if you want characters, simply put char over here, and instead of passing the integers you have to pass the characters now, A. Okay, then I am pushing B, then I am trying to push C. Okay, then I am trying to push D also, we will see this one also, then I am trying to push D. D, like this. So quickly save the program. Only here you have to change. You no need to change these abstract types once again. As it is template type, they are independent to the type now. In order to make this stack as character, only this changing is enough. So compile, successfully compiled. Yeah, here when you are creating, yeah, in order to make, yeah, this stack demo, isn't it? In order to make this as T you make. Instead of int, T you make. That's it. Because no integer type. Right now we want character type of array. So now character of size. Successfully compiled, run. As you can see, all those things got inserted into the stack. First, A got pushed, B got pushed, then C got pushed. Then overflow occurred. That is the reason why the program got terminated. No pop operation has been performed. There itself the program got terminated. So in order to perform the pop operation, what we have to do, put this last into comment. So now go and compile. Successfully compiled, then execute. As you can see, yes, A got pushed, B got pushed, C got pushed. Then if you are peaking, then C got peaked. Then uh, C got popped, B got popped, A got popped, and again you popped. So that's why underflow occurred. That's why underflow occurred. So in this way, a stack will function. Hope you understood. Not only the stack concept but also the template implementation of that stack concept. In our next class we are going to see the what we call applications of this stack. That is also very important class, and I suggest you to follow every video from now on. I suggest you to subscribe my channel if you have not at all done. Just subscribe my channel and do like the videos whenever it is possible, because it is very much helpful for us in order to make the stuff more reliable. Okay, hope you understand, and we'll see our further concepts in our next video. Thank you.